Hello friends, welcome back to Cosmopolitan Cornbread. You are probably wondering why in the world I have a video going up on Saturday. I never post on Saturdays. Well, when you get into this video, you'll understand why I'm sharing this on Saturday, which for me is Shabbat. I filmed this, of course, earlier in the week and scheduled it so that it would go live on Saturday morning. So on my website, cosmopolitancornbread.com, if you are brand new here, I have a Bible reading schedule that I publish every week. It is updated every week. There is a printable version that you can download, you can print, you could save it on your phone or however you want to. There are readings every day of the week. There are special readings for biblical holidays and things like that. And a long time ago, I had the idea to film myself reading the Bible and do it every single day. That quickly came to an end. I realized I did not have the time to do something like that. It was just not possible. Now, I have multiple reading plans actually on my website. 3 of them take you through the entire Bible in a year, and they do not have a calendar date. So you can print them out and you can start them any day of the year. However, the schedule that I follow is the exact same one as the Daily Bread for Busy Moms. That's where I get my Bible reading journal every year. I've been using these for several years now. They have all of the scriptures, both Old and New Testament. They take you through the Torah in a year with additional readings, of course, from the Old Testament, New Testament, the prophets, the writings, etc. And that is a schedule that you can find on my website that is updated on a weekly basis. So all of that said, I cannot possibly do the daily readings. If you would like to listen to the scriptures every single day, I highly recommend the podcast, Daily Bread for Busy Moms. It is a great resource. There's these lovely ladies who live in Israel who take turns recording them. Sometimes you can hear the little kids in the background because they are moms. However, I did decide I would go ahead and start doing very simply the Shabbat, Sabbath, Saturday readings. These are often very simple. The Sabbath reading is usually the Torah portion of the day, as well as some specific readings for that particular Sabbath or Shabbat. And so I thought that's what I would start doing. And so you will see these every Saturday morning. I'll record that days sometime during the week and just very simply schedule it. So if you are interested in that, you can follow along. And of course, you can get the entire reading plan every week on my website, which you can find linked down below, in addition to the other reading schedules that I have. So we're starting off with May 6th, which is the 15th of Iyar. And I'm just going to say ahead of time, I do not necessarily know how to pronounce all of the Hebrew names and places and things like that. So if I butcher them, just show me some grace. I will just read them as phonetically as I can and just hope that I'm close. So we're starting off with chapter 24 of Leviticus. Adonai said to Moses, "Order the people of Israel to bring you pure oil from crushed olives for the light, to keep lamps burning always. Outside the curtain of the testimony in the tent of meeting, Aaron is to arrange for the light to be kept burning always from evening until morning before Adonai. This is to be a permanent regulation throughout all your generations. He is always to keep in order the lamps on the pure menorah before Adonai. You are to take fine flour and use it to bake 12 loaves, 1 gallon per loaf. Arrange them in 2 rows, 6 in a row, on the pure table before Adonai. Put frankincense with each row to be an offering made by fire to Adonai in place of the bread and as a reminder of it. Regularly, every Shabbat, he is to arrange them before Adonai. They are from the people of Israel as a covenant forever. They will belong to Aaron and his sons, and they are to eat them in a holy place, because for him they are of the offerings for Adonai made by fire, especially holy. This is a permanent law. There was a man who was the son of a woman of Israel and an Egyptian father. He went out among the people of Israel, and this son of a woman of Israel had a fight in the camp with a man of Israel, in the course of which the son of the woman of Israel uttered the name Yehuvaveh in a curse. So they brought him to Moshe. His mother's name was Shlomit, the daughter of Dibri of the tribe of Dan. They put him under guard until Adonai would tell them what to do. Adonai said to Moshe, "Take the man who cursed outside the camp. Have everyone who heard him lay their hands on his head. Have the entire community stone him. Then tell the people of Israel, whoever curses his God will bear the consequences of his sin. And whoever blasphemes the name of Adonai must be put to death. The entire community must stone him. The foreigner as well as the citizen is to be put to death if he blasphemes the name. Anyone who strikes another person and kills him must be put to death. Anyone who strikes an animal and kills it is to make restitution, life for life. If someone injures his neighbor, what he did is to be done to him. Break for break, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. Whatever injury he has caused the other person is to be rendered to him in return. He who kills an animal is to make restitution, but he who kills another person is to be put to death. You are to apply the same standard of judgment to the foreigner as to the citizen, because I am Adonai your God." So Moshe spoke to the people of Israel, and they took the man who had cursed outside the camp and stoned him to death. Thus the people of Israel did as Adonai had ordered Moshe. That was Leviticus chapter 24. Next we have Ezekiel chapter 44, verses 15 to 31. However, the Kohanim, the priests, who are Levites, and descendants of Tzedek, who took care of my sanctuary when the people of Israel went astray from me, they are the ones who will approach me and serve me. It is they who will attend me and offer me the fat and the blood, says Adonai Elohim. They will enter my sanctuary, approach my table to minister to me and perform my service. Once they enter the gates of the inner courtyard, they are to wear linen clothing. They are not to wear any wool while serving at the gates of the inner courtyard or inside it. They are to wear linen turbans on their heads and linen underclothes on their bodies, and they are not to wear anything that makes them sweat. Before going out to the people in the outer courtyard, they are to remove the clothes in which they minister, lay them in the holy rooms, and put on other clothes, so that they won't transmit holiness to the people by means of their clothing. They are not to shave their heads or let their hair grow long, but must keep their hair carefully trimmed. No Cohen is to drink wine when he enters the inner courtyard. They may not marry a widow or a divorcee, but must marry virgins descended from the house of Israel, or a widow whose deceased husband was a Cohen. They are to teach my people the difference between holy and common, and enable them to distinguish between clean and unclean. They are to be judges in controversies, and they are to render decisions in keeping with my rulings. At all my designated festivals they are to keep my laws and regulations, and they are to keep my Shabbats holy. They are not to come to any dead person, because this would make them unclean. However, for father, mother, son, daughter, brother or sister who has no husband, they may make themselves unclean. After a Cohen has been purified, he is to wait 7 days. Then on the day he enters the sanctuary, when he goes into the inner courtyard to minister in the sanctuary, he is to offer his sin offering, says Adonai Elohim. Their inheritance is to be this: I myself am their inheritance. You are not to grant them any possession in Israel. I myself am their possession. They are to eat the grain offerings, sin offerings, and guilt offerings, and everything in Israel devoted to God will be theirs. The first of all the firstfruits of everything, and every voluntary contribution of everything from all your offerings will be for the Kohanim. You are also to give the Kohen the first of your dough, so that a blessing will rest on your house. The Kohanim are not to eat anything, bird or animal, that dies naturally or is torn to death. And for the final part, today we have in the book of Luke, chapter 12, verses 35 to 48. Be dressed for action and have your lamps lit, like people waiting for their master's return after a wedding feast, so that when he comes and knocks, they will open the door for him without delay. Happy the slaves whom the master finds alert when he comes. Yes, I tell you, he will put on his work clothes, seat them at the table, and come serve them himself. Whether it is late at night or early in the morning, if this is how he finds them, those slaves are happy. But notice this, no house owner would let his house be broken into if he knew when the thief was coming. You too be ready, for the Son of Man will come when you are not expecting him. Kepha, Peter, said, Sir, are you telling this parable for our benefit only or for everyone's? The Lord replied, Who is the faithful and wise manager whose master puts him in charge of the household staff to give them their share of food at the proper time? It will go well with that servant if he is found doing his job when his master comes. Yes, I tell you, he will put him in charge of all he owns. But if that servant says to himself, My master is taking his time coming, and then starts bullying the men and women servants and eating and drinking and getting drunk, then his master will come on a day when the servant isn't expecting him, and at a time he doesn't know in advance. His master will cut him in two and put him with the disloyal. Now the servant who knew that what his master wanted, but didn't prepare or act according to his will be whipped with many lashes. However, the one who did what deserves a beating, but didn't know, will receive few lashes. From him who has been given much, much will be demanded. And from someone to whom the people entrust much, they will ask still more. And that is the reading for today. If you would like next week's reading schedule, you can find that on my website, cosmopolitancornbread.com, and I will put a link to that page down below. Shabbat Shalom.